Okay, we're back and you need to pause the video and do your classwork and then come on back. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about converting from a fraction to a percent. So it asks you to write each of these ratios, it's a fraction, to a percent. Okay, so when we look at this, let's take a guess at it. 11 out of 20, that's a little bit more than half. So we're going to expect that our percent is a little bit more than 50%. So that's kind of nice to know before we get started. But when we look at this, we know that percent means you need 100 in the denominator. Can we easily make this to 100 in the denominator? Because that's going to be the quickest way to get the percent. And the answer is yes, we can. All we have to do to get to a denominator of 100 is multiply the bottom by 5, which means the top by 5. So now we have 55. And if you have something over 100, that's equivalent to a percent. So the answer here is 55%, which matches with our guess. We said it was a little more than half. Okay? So that's an easy way to get to percent. Now take a look at this problem here. Here, are we going to be able to convert 40 to 100 easily? No. So this method isn't going to be the best. Let's again guess 27 out of 40. Well, you know, that's more than half, quite a bit more than half. So we're going to expect more than 50%. All right, well, how are we going to do this problem if we can't convert to 100? Well, we're going to say that we know that this means 27 divided by 40. So we can convert first to a decimal. Convert to a decimal first, then a percent. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the division. So we're saying 27 divided by 40. Okay, so does 40 go into 27? No, so we have to put a decimal point in a 0 to be able to start this. Bring the decimal point straight up. How many times does 4 go into 27? 6 is going to work. So if we do 6, we're going to get 240. Okay, then we subtract, we get 30. Let's bring down another 0. Okay, so 4 goes into 30 how many times? Not 8, but 7. So that's 280. Okay, so when we subtract there, we get 20. Bring down another 0. 40 goes into 200 5 times. So that gives us the 200, and now we have none left over. Okay, so we just found out that 27 over 40 is equal to 0.675. That's the decimal it's equal to. But we want a percent, so now we have to remember how to convert to a percent. We need to move the decimal point over 2 places to the right. So we get that that is equal to 67.5. Now attach the percent sign. And let's talk about it compared to what we thought in the beginning. We said it was going to be much more than 50%, okay? And we did get more than 50%. So that's our answer there. Okay, pause the video, do your classwork, and then come on back. All right, in these problems, it says compute each of these percents mentally. So they just want you to have a feel for what percent means. So when they say 25% of 80, you want to think, well, how many 25% are there in 100? You know, there's 25, 25, 25, 25. There's 4 25%. So that means when you say 25%, you've divided it into 4 equal pieces, right? 25% is the same as 1/4. So you want to know, what is 1 piece when you divide into 4 equal pieces? Well, isn't that going to be 20? Okay. Another way to look at it is to say, well, 50% of 80, half of 80, would be 40. And then take half again to get to the 4th, because 25% is half of 50%. So that's how we get to 20. Okay, 33% of 90. Well, 33% is about what fraction? 33% is approximately 1/3, isn't it? We found that 1/3 is 0.333333. So when you're calculating this mentally, you could say, well, it's about 1/3 of 90. 1/3 of 90, which would be 30, wouldn't it? 30, 30, 30. There's 3 30s in 90. What's 100% of 15? Think about, suppose you've taken a quiz that's 15 points and you got 100% on it. How many points did you get? You got 15. All right. So 200% of 15. Well, suppose you took a quiz and the points were 15. If you scored 200%, you must have gotten a lot of extra credit. So you didn't get 15 points, but you got an additional 15 points. So 30 altogether. Okay. So that just gives us a feel for percent. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and try your classwork examples and then come on back for the last problem. All right, the last problem puts this kind of all together. It says compute the total price of an item, including sales tax, priced at $10.50. The sales tax in Ventura is 7.75%. So when you buy an item that's priced at $10.50, when you go to the cash register, does it cost $10.50? Not if it's a taxable item. They have to add the tax. So first we have to calculate the tax. So how do we find the tax? Calculate tax. Okay, so how do we do that? Tax is equal to price of the item times the percent, let's see, tax percent, we'll call it. All right, so tax would equal, what's the price of the item? $10.50 times the tax percent is 7.75%. Okay, when we do calculations, we don't want the percent sign in there. We want a decimal in there. So we're going to say 1050, and then times, what do we have to do? We have to move it 2 places to the left to get rid of that percent sign. Okay, so now it becomes the problem of just multiplying this out. So I'm going to put 1050 up here, then I'm going to put 0.0775 here. And we're going to calculate it. We're multiplying here. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. And then 5 times 0 is 0, plus the 2 gives us a 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Okay? Then you need your 0 placeholder. And you're going to say 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 5 is 5. And then let's get rid of this 2. 7 times 5 was 35, so we put the 5 down, and then we exchange the 3 up here. And then 7 times 0 is 0, plus the 3 gives us 3, and 7 times 1 is 7. Okay, and then we're going to do that all over again, only this time we put 2 zeros down, then we go through into 0, and then 5, and then 3, and then 7. I'm just kind of copying this row here. And then finally, you know, we had no zeros there, 1 0 here, 2 zeros here, and then 3 zeros here. And then all the rest are zeros, which we really don't have to put in all of those, you know. So we don't even need that line, but you know what? I'll just leave it in there. Okay, as long as we started. All right, so we add down here, we get 0, we get 5, we get 7, we get 13, 11, 8, and I'm not going to go any further than that. Okay, then what do we do for our decimal point? We say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. All right. We put the decimal point in. So we have 0.813750. Well, we're not going to be able to charge that kind of tax. We have to round it to 2 decimal places. So we're going to draw the line between the 1 and the 3. The 3 tells us do not bump it up, just leave it as 0.81. So that's what we're going to get here for the tax. We're going to say it's $, because it's money, 0.81. So that's how much tax we're paying on $10.50. So when we actually go up to the counter and pay, what are we going to be paying? We're going to be paying the $10.50 plus the sales tax. So the total price will equal price of the item, okay, plus the sales tax. Okay, so the price of the item was $10.50, and the sales tax is 81 cents. Okay, let's put $ on both of those. And then we're going to have to go off to the side here and add those up. Remember, when you add decimals, you want to line up the decimal points. So 13, exchange the 1 there, and you have $11.31 is the total price of the item. Okay, go ahead and do your very last classwork of the year, buying a new TV. It was wonderful having all of you. I wish you the very best in the future, and I hope this was a good semester for you, even though it ended in a different way. Good luck.